Good day, let's get straight right into it. I want to shoot this in such a way that I don't have to do much editing on it. I'm going to be talking about my top lessons that I've learned becoming a 24-year-old person that I think I should have learned much earlier. I have my notes here, and I'm going to be reading from that. So, one of the things I should have started doing earlier, much earlier, was that I should have started reading from a way younger age. I love the way I spent my childhood. I watched a lot of cartoons and I watched a lot of anime, but joining the university society, I started to realize that I was lacking in a lot of fundamental human skills, like how to relate with people properly. These were things I could have learned if I had just been more out there. If I had read more, I could have known more about how society actually works, the functioning of a society. I could have known more about that, but I did not because I wasn't reading as much as I should be. Could have been more grounded. I spent most of my childhood just watching cartoons and anime, and I loved that. I really loved it, but still, I could have done more reading. And this lack of reading affected me in such a way that it's even my second lesson. I should have read more about finances. So back in 2020, we had the COVID 19, and this COVID 19 eventually resulted in various companies going down in stock value. That was something I didn't know at the time was important because I actually started reading about finances in 2022, studying about the markets and how things gain or lose value. Now, if I had started reading much earlier, I would have seen that there was an opportunity in the market back in COVID 19 period because many companies ended up losing a lot of value. They were oversold. And the reason for this is because while they were valuable, because of the panic in the market, people were dropping stocks. People wanted to be safe. And in such cases, it's easy for you to make a killing, considering the fact that I actually had a substantial amount to my name back in 2020. Back in 2020, I was 19 years old, so I could have made my first few millions or tens of millions back when I was 19 years old, but I was simply ignorant. I could have bought these stocks, I could have bought these shares at a much younger age. So read about finances, read a lot about money, read about how politics works in society. I believe that these are things that are very important because we often don't realize it, but most of our daily living involves politics and money. And that's something I don't understand about our current education system in Nigeria. And it may be the same in your part of the world. If money and politics are such vital parts of our society, why do we not spend more time learning about it in schools? That's just something that I find really confusing. Now, the next thing is that I should have started my scary projects way earlier. Now, this scary project for you, it could be your business, it could be your YouTube channel, like I'm doing right now. The truth is that whenever you're doing something new or any project of any size, you've got to pay your dues. You've got to pay your dues. It's simply important. And sometimes we procrastinate it waiting for the right moment, but that right moment may not come until the next 10 years. For example, right now I'm shooting this in a random location within the hospital setting. Remember, I'm a medical student training to be a doctor. I'm so busy. I also have a job. I work online. I'm also active in my church. There are many things that take my time, but if I don't sit down and do this right now, I'm just missing out on the opportunity. And my life is content enough. So start on those scary projects earlier. If I had started this back in 2020, by now, in fact, 2020 was a very big moment of opportunity because many people had quit their work. So people were spending more time due to the fact that COVID 19 had people staying at home for about 7 months. People were spending more time on the internet, on social media. And I saw that a lot of channels grew. So sometimes you don't know what is going to be happening for you in your period of time. It's best that you just start so that whatever opportunities are present in the time, you get to reap those benefits. Right. So now the next thing is that I also wish I understood the importance of relationships. I sincerely wish I did because much earlier I would be focused on just studying. I'll be focused on just knowing my skills, knowing my craft. But now that I'm functioning more and more in the society, I'm starting to see that it's really not about that. Because most of the time, people would not invite you into a particular setting because of what you know. There are many people that know what you know. People often want to work with people they like. And if you're not a likable person, if you're not somewhat agreeable, you can really struggle a lot in life. And it's unnecessary for you to do that. So why not just be a more likable person? All right. So the next thing I wish I understood was that I should always aim for the highest, regardless of what people think about me. And this one is not a regret. It's more like something I've just noticed to be true. And I'm going to give you an example. Back in 2017, when I was writing for university, I had the privilege of choosing the best university in my in my country. That's the University of Ibadan. When I was making this choice, people discouraged me because I come from a part of Nigeria that is not too well off, a region that is kind of like the slums of my area. And the people in that part of Nigeria, they were like, no, you're too arrogant, you're too proud. People like us don't go to schools like those, and they were just trying to discourage me. They were putting their own limitations on me. And that's something you have to understand. Sometimes it's not personal. These people sincerely love you. And out of their love for you, they don't want you to get heartbroken when you don't eventually get those things that you are aspiring for. Right? They love you. And I understand. And sometimes they also don't love you. They're just bad people. But you have to understand that it's your life. And if you don't take those opportunities, you are the one who is going to live with the regret for the rest of your life. Most times when people are dying, they don't regret the things that they did as much as they regret the things that they did not do. So don't be that kind of person. Always aim for the highest, always aim for the best, regardless of what people think of you, regardless if people think you are proud or arrogant or whatever they think you are. Now, I'm somewhat of a kind person and I like to give people a lot of chances. But one thing I've come to learn, this is the next lesson, is that when people show you their red flags, you should believe them. Believe them easily. People have various characteristics that are not the best. And in our bid to be good people, remember, you can't even really be a good person. We are just all humans in relations to other humans. But in order to prove that we are good persons, we give them other chances. But these red flags, they are traits that are not good and will only be exposed more and more the deeper you get to know a person. So if a person shows you a slight red flag, believe them for what they've shown you and avoid them to the best that you can. And if it's a relationship that you cannot avoid, manage that red flag for and with them. It's something that is particularly important. It's something we don't really talk about enough. If somebody shows you that, oh, this is my red flag, this is my characteristic, this is my trait, believe them for what they've shown you. They are doing their best for you. Just simply believe them. They've done a lot to tell you what they are. Now, so what's the next thing? Remember, look at my book. Be flexible. Yeah. um, I am a really, really smart person. Really smart person. I believe it so much. And this is not me being proud. Maybe it is, but I am a really smart person. And one thing that comes with being knowledgeable is that because of all the stuff you know, you often think that there's one right way of doing things. And that is simply not true. There is not just one right way of doing things. There are many right ways of doing things. And your right way might not even be the most optimal right way to do it. Right? So you have to be flexible. You have to learn to listen to other people, take inputs from others. It's something that you need to imbibe because number one, it helps with your emotional intelligence, and number two, it helps with the first lesson I said. One of the first lessons I said earlier, which was people will want to work with people that are likable. And if you are very argumentative, if you are not agreeable to some degree, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. So learn to be flexible. And sometimes you might be right, you might be correct. Your right way might be the most right way, but if people are not listening, learn to make compromises as long as you still get the job done. Just move on. There's no need dying on that particular hill. And this brings me to the next one. Be willing to listen. Yeah, to actively listen to people and to show that you're listening. This one is particularly funny because I've noticed that people really care about what they think you are doing when they are speaking to you. For example, I have this tendency to be listening to you, but also not look like I'm listening to you. I don't know how to describe that properly. I'm listening to you, but I also look like I'm not listening to you. That is really bad. So you need to look like you're listening. You need to be actively involved in the listening process. So as they're speaking to you, you need to give things like, really? Ah, wow, that is so true. Mirror them, ask them questions on what they are speaking about. It really helps build that relationship with people. And don't avoid eye contact. Avoiding eye contact just makes you look like a sketchy person, even if you might not be a sketchy person. So don't avoid eye contact too much. Do it to the best of your ability. Practice it. The more you practice having eye contact, the better you get at it. And finally, this is my last lesson for this session, is whenever people do negative things to you, it is never personal. Don't take it personally. Just understand it from that reference point that it is not personal. It's an opportunity for you to learn more about the other person, learn more about yourself, and improve. Negative things happening between you and colleagues, you and friends, they are mostly not personal. That person has just shown you that this is my current level of understanding. Learn about it. Learn about yourself. Because it's also showing you as well that that is also your current level of understanding. So once you see things like that as learning experiences, you get less offended. And you basically want to improve with the other person as well. And that is optimally better for you guys. So thank you for watching. And okay, like this video. That's what's most important to me right now. Like this video so that I can see it again. Share with a friend. I would really appreciate that as well.